is the beautiful Salle des Caryatides. Goes back to the 16th century. Francois Premier. Caryatides are those four perky ladies there against the wall, holding up what used to be the musician's balcony. And this is the first part of the contemporary Louvre, as we could say, 16th century. And it's filled with statues, some of which belong to the kings. It's a gorgeous fireplace down there. After Francois Premier died, Henry II, his son, took over. The staircase actually used to kind of go more into the center of this room, and he had it moved, so the staircase just right past that door is the Escalier Henri II. And this gorgeous lady right here is Diane. And it is the Diane de Versailles. She's kind of the OG of the French King's collection. And you will find, this is the original, you will find copies of this everywhere. The Tuileries, the Jardin de Luxembourg, Fontainebleau, of course Versailles. But this is the original. And Diane is often seen with her diadem, the tiara, a lot of times with the crescent moon, because she is the goddess also of the moon. Apollo is the sun, she is the moon. And a lot of times she is seen with her bow and arrow, a dog, or even a stag. But this is first thing in the morning. The only one here, not even a guard in this room. This room was also played a pivotal moment in the World War II, because you have these doors here that open onto the cour carré, and these are the rooms that Jacques Joujar gave to the ERR, which was the organization of the Nazis that kind of, they thought, made it okay for them to steal whatever they want, mostly from Jewish families. And they needed a place to store their loot before sending it off to Germany and Austria. So he actually gave him these rooms, this one and the one on the other side of the escalier, because they could open the doors right onto the back of the cour carré. But it was also so he could keep an eye on them. But you know, one thing I love about these doors, get a little closer, and right there, any guesses? Henri IV, of course. You have to know it's him by a pointy chin. But you have the L's for Louis XIV. You have the crown up there with the fleur-de-lis for the Bourbon. Henri IV was the first Bourbon king. And just think of what and who has passed through these doors. But today's her birthday, guys. Today, the Louvre, the museum, turns 231 years old. This room, when it became part of the museum, it was part of the Salle des Antiques, so it became exactly what it's used for today. Art had been in the Louvre long before it became a museum, because you had the kings that were living here, and we'll go into that in more detail in next week's video. But this is just for my Patreons, a little morning walk. This is, I love this piece. The reason why it's so dark on the back side and not on the front side is because it was buried in the earth for so long, and marble is porous, so it absorbed the earth. And then you have this amazing fireplace of Henri II. This room, the Salle des Caryatides, was also used for large events, galas, balls. And when Henry IV died, he was laid here. His coffin was here over towards the Caryatides, and then a wax effigy of him was laid on top of that, like he was laying in bed. And they'd set up a long table in here, and every day, twice a day, they'd eat their meals, like 100 people. He was on display here for almost a month, the wax effigy over his coffin, before he was then finally taken to the Basilique Saint-Denis, where he was buried. But you could just kind of imagine that in here. this. Nobody here. It's about 15 minutes after the museum opened. I'm just gonna sit here for a bit and take it in. Just enjoy it. It's straight from the Southern carriage, and you can walk right through here and see Venus all by herself. Bonjour. Here she is, all alone. One thing I love about these rooms are the floors. And you have mostly Greek statuary here. You have the funerary statuary, these next rooms, but look at these floors. And I was just talking to my friend recently that works here, and I said, hey, I've always wondered about the floors, and I've had people ask me about, how old these floors are. And he says, and I told him, I have never, ever come across anything, any information in all my research in regards to the floors. And he's like, I don't think I have either. So, but he says he actually was going to the Musée du Louvre and working here in the early 90s. And he says in the 90s they did a huge project working on these rooms. So he thinks that maybe the marble floors in here are probably about 30 years old. But I'm going to ask when my library, my special secret library, finally reopens in October, for Pete's sake. I'm gonna ask my ladies. I'm gonna actually email them shortly and ask them to see what they could find for me. But I love this. Every one of these rooms, the floors is different. Oh, thank goodness this part has AC in it. This museum gets, the museum, when it gets hot, it takes days and days. So we are gonna be 96 degrees on Monday, 96, 97, or 1 degree, boy, that helps. But it's gonna be hotter than heck. And so if you're coming, I'd stay away for a few days. But look at how great these floors are. This is all funerary monuments. So all part of what were once tombs. Look at this. We're in the Cour Carré, right here behind us. Right out the window. This Southern carriage is just there to the left. And this was originally the entrance. This is the front side of the Louvre, so that's why this side of the Cour Carré is really decorative and gorgeous by Jean Goujon. There's a really fantastic exhibit at the Carnavalet. I think it just goes maybe for a few more days, about these Les Innocents fountain, which has been completely cleaned and restored. And I need to go over there. I want to do a whole video about that for you. But Jean Goujon did it, and so I was so excited because at the exhibit they had a bunch of stuff about the Louvre. Look at that. They get really noisy in the morning when it's, when there's like nobody around. The guards do. They're moving things, and the things echo because you have marble and these kind of curved ceilings. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk you through a very special place that I'm actually gonna do a whole huge project about, but I'll give you a little sneaky peeky. Hang on. This, we're on to the secret. Well, it's not secret, but this is Diane, who is a goddess you will find in the Louvre more than any other, because Diane was also the name of the mistress of Henry II, Diane de Poitiers, so he was able to put her all over the place without putting her all over the place, And so here, I'm gonna head into here. Oh my goodness, it's so amazingly cool right here. Look at this, all of this has been restored. It is the summer apartments of the Queen Mother in Austria. And you have this great, they've been doing this one like with the reopening of Napoleon III apartment. They are doing some really amazing restoration, and then but also putting out all this information. So you have the Rotonde de Mars here, the Three Graces. And then this is the summer apartment. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we'd be here forever, but these were her suite of apartments. They have been closed since before COVID. The last time I think I was in here was 2018. They finally reopened, and they're only going to be reopened until November, I think end of November. And then they will close until 2027 because they're going to realign. This is a special exhibit, so there's none of the collection that's normally in here in these rooms. This is normally Roman statuary. They will close it, and part of this is going to become the new department, which is art of Christianity. And so they have to redo all that, basically create a whole different department. This is the Salle des Saisons. In the corners you have the seasons, that's spring right there. The ceilings are all the way they were when she lived here, 17th century. Usually this room is pretty hot, but it's so lovely right now. I think the French are having to figure out how to work with AC and that it's not going to kill you because this heat just getting hotter and hotter. Look at this one. Gorgeous. I'm so excited to finally see these rooms open. There's not a lot written about these rooms as far as the art and everything in it. So I have been working in my multiple libraries, putting all the information together with what I know about mythology and how what you normally see. And so some of these were redone, but the same exact paintings, but repainted into the 19th century. And then this would have been her bedroom. So this is on the side towards the Seine. Seine's right out the window. Look at this ceiling. And this is the Salle des Bustes, but it's also known as this Salle des Empereurs. And up here you have, it's all based on 4 different emperors. Napoleon III, Charlemagne, Auguste, look at this. This side is France up there. This is the French monuments here on the right. She's supposed to be an allegory of Napoleon. Then you have Charlemagne on this side. And on this other side you have Rome. And if you are looking at that and thinking, wow, that looks just so much like what I saw in Napoleon III. Well, it's the same artist. Look at these floors. Normally you'd walk through that room and up the steps and then to the right, and there'd be a whole set of rooms with more statuary in it, but that's closed off. And that's, I think, I was talking to one of the guards a couple weeks ago, and I was like, 2027, are you kidding me? He was like, oh, well, everything, they moved it up to the north into the storage unit. They have to get it back. And I was like, come on. And then I said 2027, that probably means December 31st. And he laughed, and he says, oh, you know France. And we were having this whole conversation in French. I said, j'habite à Paris. And he just laughed because in France, I'd be surprised if it was 2027. It'd probably be 2028. But next week is already another anniversary. Next week there's a lot of big things happening. But if you recall the whole story of the Mona Lisa when it was stolen, when Perugio stole it, he went out a door that came out onto the other side of this into the courtyard, and that's where he walked out the door. They do have a few of the French pieces, the French Louvre collection mixed in with this. This is actually a piece that's always here. But most of this all came from a museum that used to be in Italy. It's no longer a museum anymore. And so these pieces have not been seen by the public for many, many years. But I will, in the next few weeks, do a walk and share all the details about all of these spaces. This is the Cross Sphinx. It used to be open. This used to be open to the sky for many years. And my girl Wing Victory used to live down here for a short period of time. Look at all of these. Gorgeous. All right, now I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna hopefully get out onto the upper balcony. There's normally spaces back in there too. So maybe they're working on those at the same time. But there's spaces behind here. Back here past this, we are basically right above us, right in that area where those fake windows are. That's the Salon Carré. So on the other side of that is the Grand Gallery, and there's no exhibit spaces under here. So it's all offices. Let's kick them out, put them somewhere else, and make more space here. All right, I'm gonna head upstairs, and hopefully we get outside, and I give you a little view from outside. I'm out here now on the little balcony. There's a cafe up here. Opens at a little bit around, well, around 10 o'clock. And it's in the shade, so it's lovely, but here it is. Too bad we can't put like, maybe a good AI birthday candle on top of the pyramid. Now there's actually more of a line, but it's directly, they're not making them snake around because this is actually very few people. But you have around here, this is the what we're looking at, like from down below. This is all 19th century. Everything here except for the very back part. So the Richelieu is fully built in the 19th century, and where we are right now, this is all 19th century as well by Napoleon III. And these statues, there's 86 of them. They're the 86 great men of France. And they are artists, writers, statesmen, cardinals, architects, everything. All from before the 19th century. And this one right here is Nicolas Poussin, who's a very famous French painter. And I love how they did some of these, like you could see back, you know, etching, and he's up there drawing. And then this one here is Mansart, which is very famous for the roofs that everybody loves, the Mansart roofs. So you have a little architecture, a building there. And so they go all the way around. I'll someday do a video and share a little story of every single one of them as they go around. But you could see through here, kind of look between those two, you could see the balloon that's attached to the cauldron. Tonight is the last night it goes up in the sky, and then it I think extinguishes tomorrow night, but then they're going to use it for the Paralympics. So again, starting the 28th, it's going to be used, so that's going to be kind of exciting. Glad they're keeping it a little bit longer. Straight across the way you have Angelina. They don't always have that balcony open, but it's kind of nice. You could go to Angelina, sit out there, and then the corner there is the Napoleon III rooms. And then you have the Musée des Arts Décoratifs over on that side. When you look over there, it's closed for 2 days. I don't know why the Louvre could open, but they closed because of the marathon, but whatever. I mean, it is the Louvre's birthday. And there's some Olympic rings down there. I'm assuming those will be gone. We'll see if they're still there Monday. But there you go. There's a special little sneak peek. Happy birthday to the old gal. She's looking better than ever. I love her to death. Oh, it's all completely closed off. You can't even walk around the art. There we go. Thank you guys. And then next week, I just ran out of time this week because I want to do one that's all about the Louvre and the collection and how it started and what's built from that. So we'll do that for next Sunday.